Yeah, they really tried to knock me down, but they didn't knock me down. I've been through some ups and downs, but I still keep my smile. I'ma make my mama proud. I'm a king, I'ma rock my crown. Peace, life, and love. You're here with your host, Brother Peace, here with another episode of Peace TV. I have another good brother that I want to introduce to my platform. It's his first time on the platform here on Peace TV, so I'm going to let my brother introduce himself.
Peace to the gods, peace, love, and light, man. Peace to you, brother. Peace. Shit, I am knowledge, Mod Netarul, based out in Atlanta. Just here to be able to give y'all some recollections of what it is in the minds of a modern day genius, a modern day manifesting generator. Peace.
Manifester and generator, that's your human design right there, huh? That's what I am too. Okay, that's divine. See, we connected, we locked in. Well, it's my brother first time on the platform, so we're going to get right into it. You know, brother, knowledge. I would like to see, what's your definition of peace, brother? You know, you've been on your journey and for some time and going through many different ups and downs throughout life. So I would like to see from your perception and your definition, what does peace look like to you?
Peace to me is prosperity. Prosperity is, mental riches, financial riches, spiritual riches. It's the combination of all things. Peace is being able to be with everything and nothing all at the same time. To have it, to need it, to not have it, to not need it, and to still have a sense of self. That's peace. To be able to be unfuckwittable. And if knocked off pivot, able to center oneself back and into alignment of peace. It's harmony. It's what feel good. Peace for me is my nervous system being balanced. You know what I'm saying? When my nervous system has been out of balance in the past, when I look at why in the conversation and what that conversation entailed, it's the opposite of peace. And now that I'm able to connect with what my nervous system feels like when I'm in a tumultuous environment, the opposite, and I know the difference between harmonious and angelic and divinity. So peace is what I choose because we all have a choice. How we handle things, how we look at things, how we view things. Peace frees us. Peace allows us to be free within the mind and start there. Everything else is a magnet once that's connected.
Oh man, you showed a really great depth, perspective, and definition of peace. And I feel like it's many different pathways and layers. And you touched on that piece about being free. Like being at peace is being free. And there's so many different things that suppress us, that limit us from being free here in this realm. And that's something that we want to advocate for, the liberation of our people to embody all fullness of their self and expression. You feel me? And tap into their divinity. We divine beings, man. Cosmic channels, I feel like. And running into my good brother a couple years ago out in Detroit, that's how we align. I'm an advocate of peace and wellness, and part of my wellness journey has been tapping in with psychedelics, tapping in with different plant medicines, elements of the earth to support me with healing, releasing, raising my vibration, and tapping in deeper with my nature. You know what I'm saying? So we met at a psychedelic conference in Detroit. So how did you come across psychedelics or come across this Detroit psychedelic event where we aligned and met?
Man, divine source, man. I give it to my brethren, Maki Sapa, Nafis, for those in which who don't know his spiritual name, but he practices ayahuasca out in Atlanta. Good brethren of mine, he gave me some insight on the psychedelic conference. Literally, I think about 3 weeks before it was actually, gonna be held. Tickets were sold out. I was like, hey, don't worry about that. We ain't gonna worry about it. I'm gonna figure out how to get there. Found somebody on the board that knew Acacia, got the tickets. Boom, it's that easy. Going there, Baba Kalindi was the topic of overstanding because that was his energy of his culture and his family lineage that he connected and created in Detroit. I didn't know who he was. Never heard of his name. So up until a few days upon our arrival, Baba Kalindi was a non-factor in my intellect at the time. Once I started to understand, what the brethren did and his celestial insight on how he was taking these heroic doses, on a different celestial realm with a different technology. He utilized a sacred mushroom called Tamarian Blues, which was a strand in which that he cultivated himself. I don't know where the genetics came from, but this is I know it's a land strand. I'm sure it has some crosses on there, but it was an alignment of allowing him to journey, in deep realms on big dosages. I'm hearing 30 grams, 40-gram trips, but raw psilocybin, that he extracted and juiced. He did not dehydrate them, meaning that mycelium was active, it was live. And the average 9 times out of 10, 9.5% out of people ain't never experienced that type of trip or that type of journey. When that mycelium's live and it grab your stomach, it grab a hold on you, and you go through them ether realms, he was able to stay within them realms for hours and hours and hours and bend time. Go to rooms, go to celestial courts, go to different planets, and they say, in which the records have shown and proved, that he was able to bring cosmic items, cosmic fragments of minerals and compounds, and not only just the memory, but actual physical gems, physical matter from those other planets and dimensions. And that just showed me the infinite realms of possibility. You dig me? For sure. But it was a beautiful event. I'm grateful that I connected with you, and Brother Magic, as well as a multitude of others. I got introduced to plant venom, or snake, animal venom, my apologies, like bufo. I heard about it, but I got exposed. I did it on my second day. My first day, I did cobra venom by Brother Dooley.
That was your first time doing it?
Yep.
But you just felt called to do it?
Yeah, I listened to the side effects and did a little research real quick. It was kind of like either tap in on the first day or not, because you had to do it for all 3 days, which was highly recommended. If your budget didn't acquire, then cool, you could do it 2 days. But yeah, man, I did it cobra venom on my face. I had 3 burn marks at the top, 3 at the bottom, both sides. And that was a very beautiful situation, man. My spleen activated for the first time. Our spleen is right here to our left side, kind of midway up underneath that line of the belly button, kind of off to the side. That was my first time feeling that. So when I went second day in that rising, after waking up, I felt my spleen just pulsating. Every time it was something that me and Nafis was talking about on a connection of who we met, who we need to cross paths with. He know how to move, I know how to move, and we know how to bring that energy back together. Every time it was some form of a ashe. It was a pulsation in my spleen. I Googled what the spiritual enlightenment of the spleen was in that organ, and it was telling me that it's for me to operate in my knowing of my path and to operate in fullness, to operate with confidence of fullness, to fully embark upon this journey that I'm tapping in with. And that gave my body the permission to operate in the realms. Our mind can do what it want to do. The body can follow suit or detach. They came together. So, yeah.
Damn, bro, that was a powerful experience. Thank you for sharing that testimony, because definitely connecting with you in Detroit, I definitely seen a powerful light on you, a reflection of myself, and then just see another young brother in the space, in the movement, definitely brought me joy, and then just seeing it, because stepping into that space, that's one thing I want to acknowledge about the Detroit psychedelic community, that they definitely advocate for melanated brothers and sisters to have space and work with these plant medicines, to educate each other and support each other. I'm out here in the Bay Area, so when I first got into the psychedelics, specifically mushrooms was like my first, my plant medicine was weed, you know what I'm saying, at first, but then mushrooms, I got into the fungi, you feel me? Fungi really opened up my mind, tapped me into deeper realms within myself, and for me to even tap into the vibration and affirmation of Brother Peace. As I got on my path, I started doing mushrooms, and it opened up my mind to tapping in deeper with my soul and my spirit, and be stronger connected to that inner voice, that inner knowing. You know what I'm saying? So that inner knowing guided me to affirm myself as Brother Peace. So I've been pushing peace, advocating for peace, and realizing there's many different pathways and many different layers, and there's many different beings who tap in and cultivate that frequency in different ways. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful to have the brother to touch on that vibration today. I mean tonight. You know what I'm saying? As we building. When it comes to mushrooms, you said that was one of your first. Weed was your first psychedelic. I mean, plant medicine. How did you get into weed? Growing up in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I ain't never said this on film. I actually just connected to this recently, but for all the young individuals out here, I'm not saying be this or do this, but man, I was smoking cannabis probably in third grade, bro.
That's hella young.
Third grade or fourth grade, man. It was in Toledo, Ohio. I was amongst my dad's uncles. You know, my father didn't really partake much, but my dad was in the streets real heavy, so I was always under some type of guidance of some elders. But I knew how to do me. But my Uncle Mark, shout out to Uncle Mark. You feel me? He used to have his flower, his cannabis grounded up already, and he would keep it in a cigar box. He would have his rolling papers. He smoked tops. He would have his papers in there, lighter, the whole kit. And just, I guess, after watching him roll up so much, it was like, you know, they was downstairs on the porch serving, making plays. You know, my uncle was getting his hair twisted up or something. I went upstairs to my great-grandmother's house, Meemaw, and she had a huge, big-ass house. But I took a pinch, man. I took a pinch, grabbed a rolling paper. It was a fat joint, too, surprisingly. I went up to the attic. I just remember first grade, second grade, smoke rises. So I'm like, if I go up to the top floor, to the attic, smoke, you ain't gonna smell that. Boom. Ended up rolling up. I don't know if I finished it or not, but I definitely smoked that motherfucker, inhaled everything. I was toasted. And man, my dad came and got me. Like a few hours later, I was high, man, out of my mind. I was red-eyed, sleepy. And I guess because I was so young, my father didn't peep to even, you know, even he was like, what's wrong with you? Nothing, I'm tired. I stayed up all night. Lying. And, man, that whole summer, I came out there. The next summer, I was a year older. I'm with my older cousins, and my dad gave me like a $20, $30 budget, you know, 40 sometimes every day. Push up on me. I'd be at my aunt's house. And back then, you know, money went a little further definitely than it do now. So I was smoking good, man. We was smoking. I was getting a 7 every day. It was some good mid grade. No C's though. It was like some dro. It was called Fruity, and it was the best weed, bro. Giggles, laughs. I used to get high, man, and to be able to meditate, bro, and go into these like very dark celestial rooms. Like it was outer space, bro. It was just quiet. It was cold. It was, you know what I'm saying? That happened to me a lot growing up, and even in high school, I just didn't know how to navigate. You know what I mean? I didn't know what to do. I had no instructions on when I go up in that ether, in that realm, where now I'm meditation, but my ears are so open and so connective, but my eyesight is gone and everything's dark, and I can hear everything around me, but I can't operate. I can't get up. I can't move. At that time, I didn't know how to navigate, you know, but my spirit and my youthness was so young that I was able to tap in a whole lot easier back then than I am now in that regards. You know, now I don't even tap in with sacred cannabis that way anymore. You know, I'm able to have that connection with shrooms. You feel me? And some other plant medicines, but we'll get to that soon.
For sure, brother. Well, thank you for touching and sharing your testimony around your first experience with weed. You know what I'm saying? I had another good brother. He has shared his experience on the platform as well. And it's some interesting testimonies when it comes to our first experience getting introduced to some of these things, you know, and how they impact us, affect us on our lives and our journey. You know, but now touching into mushrooms, like we was talking about these plant medicines, and mushrooms is one of the first psychedelics I tapped in with and really pushed me deeper into tapping into the deeper realms of myself, going deep into the roots of myself. I feel like, the mycelium network is coming from the roots of the earth. You know what I'm saying? So they really will reflect that when you work with the mycelium and mushrooms. It'll tap you into the deep roots of yourself and the core um, levels and essence of yourself, to, to release things, to tap in deeper, to expand. And I would love to get my brother's perspective of how'd you get introduced to mushrooms?
I got introduced to mushrooms off of a brethren named Ra. He always had the best mushrooms in the city, man. Little 5 points for all y'all who know. That's the hippiest part of town. You know what I mean? That's where if you want anything. So you got 5 Point train station and you got Little 5 Points.
Little 5 points?
Yeah, two different areas, two different parts of the city. But Little 5 Points was like the stumper grounds, the mecca. If you wanted DMT, you wanted shrooms, ketamine, ice, whatever, anything, any substance, that's where you go to find it. It's going to be somebody near. But it also was a safe haven for creatives, safe haven for, artists, from graffiti, portraits to music. That brethren always was there. We had a long-lasting friendship, and he was a person who exposed me to it. I've always been very big on a deep dive, self dive. I've never been a person that's, if they walking that way, I'm gonna be on the other side of the street. Operating in my own righteousness, within my own steps, moving my own move. I'm a collaborative person, but shrooms for me was internal first time. It was at a park, Piedmont. I just took the whole bag, trusting myself.
You knew how much was up in there?
Nah, I still don't to this day, but it don't matter because it did something so profound for me. It allowed me to feel free for the first time without worrying of the scrutiny of others, because I was rolling around in the grass, not on some wigging, but on some like tapped into my inner child, bro. Like, yeah, like I'm rolling down the hill, I'm getting dirty in the grass and, I'm eating dandelions, not blowing them. We was taught to blow the dandelion, not knowing that's the medicine. That's a liver cleanser. So I'm eating these dandelions and not realizing even that I'm cleansing my liver, which allows the mycelium to be more absorbent into the body. And it was just hours, man. The sun went down, and I started tapping on my breathing, and that activated another realm. So I'm like, oh shit, okay, these okay, you can reactivate these. So that next day, man, I did some yoga in that rising. I did some, I think it was a tantric yoga because it was fast paced. I just remember that it was fast paced. I was heavy on my yoga vibes at that time, and I felt that activation reactivate within my spine. You know what I mean? Doing those fast movements, fast breaks, I felt that releasing, and that showed me like, yeah, this for us. This for the people. Like, this is for the people. This is for the melanated people. This is for humanity, though. This don't got no face. This don't got no race. This don't got no color. I was like, man, if everybody do this at least one time, this will shift humanity. Like, you feel me? This will shift peace, equality, This will harmonize the earth. So, like most of us, we do something that's very profound. For some of us, myself included, I was definitely in the hustle and the grind. It didn't just click at all. It still took me maybe another 2 years to really become an advocate. You know what I mean? So within about 2-3 years into the space, doing them here and there, I started to get more interested in procuring and growing them, because it was always hard to get them. It's always hard to find them, and I like them blue things, them strong ones. That I want that same experience I had the first time. I know what I tried wasn't a 3-5 though. It might have been 1.5 grams, 2 grams. Somewhere I could function, but I wasn't out there, too out there. But it don't matter how the big the dose, the set in the setting, and then trusting yourself. That's it. We are our own altar. It's our job to control what we can and worry nothing less about what we can't. You feel me?
That's my brother's experience with tapping in with the mushrooms and getting into them. You know, man, the mushrooms are all over the planet, and there are many different communities that hold space for mushroom ceremonies, mushroom education, mushroom cultivation and mycology. You know, and growing up here in Richmond, California, in the hood, man, nobody was fucking with mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? In my environment, growing up.
They were saying that's white boy shit.
Exactly, they were saying that's that white boy shit. You know what I'm saying? You doing drugs and shit like that, but they putting these labels on it and demonizing it, but this is an element that come from God, come from the source, come from the universe. You know what I'm saying? But we're not thinking like that because we've been conditioned and colonized. So I've been on the path of encouraging, man, freeing your mind from the colonization and decolonize your mind, you know what I'm saying, and get back in tune with, you know, yourself and developing your own philosophies and being a student of life instead of allowing a system and corporations to govern your mind and just tell you what things are without you having a strong connection from God and the source and your own knowing. So we got to get back to having that internal state of knowing, you know, and learning and reprogramming. So I've been on that journey, and then, you know, hearing that shit, I had to break free from all the bullshit and just tap in and do my own research. You feel me? So it was a sister who introduced it to me that I was working with, and she put it upon my consciousness, planted them seeds, and then I started doing more research and stuff. She was like, let's do mushrooms, but I wasn't open to it at first. But she just kept like dropping like seeds here and there. You know what I'm saying? And over time, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fuck with it. And I had my first experience with her, and she bought an eighth, and we just split the eighth together. You know what I'm saying? But that shit really was transformative for me. Like, I seen it was something very spiritual, because in moments when we was together, we were vibing, definitely a lot of bliss, a lot of inner joy. But my imagination like was really activated, like my pineal gland like really activated, and I started to have these visions and these visuals and just getting very spacey, like visualizing myself out of space, floating and shit, and I was like, this shit dope. You know what I'm saying? But she had left me for a period of time, and I was like it was kind of dark in the room where I was at. She had went to go like take a shower, and she left me for a period of time, and then I ended up going through like some reflection of inner child shit. Like shit came up that happened to me when I was younger, and all these different things, or even exposed to me how I did some wicked shit. You feel me? To just like help me forgive myself and forgive others and release that and cleanse that from my spirit. And that shit brought me like to joy and peace, bro. I was like, damn, like I feel like a whole new being.
Yeah,
I was like,
many things we hold on to that ain't even us.
exactly.
That wasn't us.
That wasn't us.
What we was exposed to.
It was
That could have been transmutated energy through birth or through our lineage before us that we carried throughout in our expression. Young, when we didn't know. So that's amazing that you created that space of forgiveness for yourself, because for sure that's everything.
Now I had that on my first experience fucking with the mushrooms, so I was like, bro, this shit is deep right here. So then it just took me on the journey of wanting to do more research, but experiment and have more experiences and do more higher dosages and stuff like that. And that's when I came up with the name Brother Peace. I ended up tapping in deeper with my artistry, finding the confidence to actually share my music with the world and my voice, because I always wanted to do music and stuff, but a lot of trauma, a lot of pain that has suppressed me. But doing the mushrooms helped me like open up, bro. And just like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck what motherfuckers think about me. This is my voice, you know what I'm saying? If I resonate with it and I want to share my rhythm, my tonality, I'm going to do that. And I did that. And I came up with mushroom songs, high vibrational songs, and it opened up many doors for me. I've been able to travel and be in different conferences. And this is how I met the brother, by embracing mushrooms in different communities outside of the Bay Area. And it has opened up my network to have different connections. And I feel like the Mycelium Network, you know what I'm saying, like Mycelium Network, as you tap in with it, it will expand your network. You know what I'm saying? That's how I've been looking at it. Like, it's a network that connects all around the world and throughout the earth. You know what I'm saying? It connects many different elements. So if humans look at it as a tool to open up more connections within yourself, tap you into deeper connections within yourself, but then helps you connect with humanity, and we can be more consciously aware of how to coexist. You know what I'm saying? So I resonate when you said this shit can help change the planet, help uplift humanity in so many different ways. But we got to be in that space too. Do you feel like it's some people who could be working with these tools for like evil intent? or like could you utilize this tool and still move, operate with evil intent or evil spirit?
That's a very amazing question, to say the least.
Sometimes.
Yeah, that's a very amazing question. I would be lying to the masses, and I would be creating a space of yes, yes, that's the reality, unfortunately. But that's just like with anything, you know what I'm saying? You can have all good intentions to drive your vehicle, or you can use your vehicle as a weapon and you can kill somebody intentionally. You can pull a vehicular homicide, not telling anybody to do that. But that's a heavy machine that is capable. This plant medicine is heavy, and it's a vehicle that allows you to tap into oneself's vehicle. Um, to give some reflection, I myself is a cucandero. That's the tribal term, or the tribal, aspect of what melanated individuals are. If they hold ceremony, if they hold space, if they have celebratory energy, what they are holding space for themselves or many others at a time in time of no time with all time, and unfortunately, in this reality of spirituality, we gotta know that it's a there ain't no good or bad. There's no right or wrong, but there's the reality in which, and then there's another world, and there's light, there's dark. Those in which who we perceive ourselves to be light, we are that by choice, but that don't mean the dark don't want light on it. That don't mean that the dark don't want to come out the fucking corners and shed and come on out the woodworks. Light attracts everything. And with being the light, it's about just being that and not dimming yourself. So to answer the question on a straight through, pull out the big boy sword, there's witches and warlocks. You feel me? There's witches. And right now I think is a good time for us to be mindful of our words and the spells that we bond through our lips. The word witch was not a bad word before, in which it had a very heavy negative connotation. Back then, in our grandmother's times, a witch meant craft. So we heard witchcraft. Which craft do you have? Were you a celestial being of all-seeing knowing? You could see, you have a telepathy. Witchcraft, did you deal amongst the plants, amongst the herbs, in which to know foraging and know how to identify and extract and emulsify and blend and serve to be able to create a beautiful experience? To be able to operate and bend, metals and work with hands and be a architect of the body, to do sonar scans, to do Reiki, to do, masseusing and massaging and hidden acupuncture and pressure points. That's a craft. Which craft do you have? That's where the word witchcraft originated from. But witch, we reflect that as a evil bitch. And a lot of evil bitches want to be witches, and they may not know what realms they're barking upon. Just like this young group, this young crowd. I got a 22-year-old brother. They play these games heavy. They listen to this real suicidal ass music, and the term the last few years been demon time. Hey, look, y'all. If your ass knew what a demon looked like, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to be on that time. So fuck off with the analogy of demon time, because y'all are operating in the lack thereof knowing, just because it sounds like it's something cool. If y'all seen a motherfucking demon, there will be nothing about it that will be cute, funny, sexy, advertising to the masses as a form of a language when you talking about doing somebody wrong. That ain't the right time. It's divine time. No demon time. Divine time. All right. I'm in the space of wanting to do better with my vernacular. I know my vernacular is spectacular. And I choose to stop cursing so much. So it can be more digestible. I want to season my words better. Me and you both were chefs. So for us to be able to hit all audiences and hit all barriers of palates and taste and sound. It's for me, it's allowing myself to be the most desired and digestible dish, seasoning my words, correctly. So the reflection of those in which who listen to Brother Peace podcast, this opportunity for me to be here, I'm grateful, truly, because it's been 2 years in the making. And you've been working, you've been grinding, and I'm gonna give you your praise and accolades, here shortly. I understand, and extostand that there are some people out here whose spirits are very much corrupted and very much not right. We all have shortcomings. We all have irritable moments. But some people's spirits just ain't right. It's their spirit and their demeanor for wanting to see other people in pain, wanting to see other people in a very the word tumultuous, man. That's been a word of mine for maybe a week or so. It's a certain type of sequence of events that constantly happen in a negative cycle, tumultuous thinking. It's hard to even know if a person think like that. Just like we'll never really know if somebody lying. So when you go, ladies, when you go, men, more so, I'm speaking to the goddesses out here. Do your homework, do your research, and make sure your spirit is right before you sit with the cucandero or cucandera. The spirit can be confused and lost. That's why we seeking a higher intelligence. That's why we seeking a healing modality. That's why we're seeking it. For all the cucanderas out here, cucanderos, I never heard of none in which they use that term that practice the shit that the shamans do. See, shamans is a European word that the Europeans created to identify one in which man or woman who operates with plant medicine and creates a ceremonial space. There's a barbaric energy on this planet, and we know who the fuck they are. They don't look like us. These barbaric traits and these barbaric behaviors have been adopted, picked up. And there's nothing that we can do about it other than operate in our divinity, knowing that we are the original, we are the crop, we are the makers, we are the true origins of this planet. And it's for us to operate in our most rightfulest acumen, in our most rightful body of thinking in space. People in which they do get preyed upon in these elements. There is sexual attacks that happen. A la why me cultivating these sacred mushrooms, me operating with other melanated mycologists, which we're very far rare and few in between, but we are operating and waking up. By the thousands I manifest, 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 that more melanated mycologists come online, come on the space to facilitate, be the beacons of light, be the protectors of light and darkness. I don't get into this realm because this shit cute. You feel me? I'm not doing this. I ain't in this realm, God. I ain't in this realm for money. That's number one. Because I used to sell crack. So it wasn't too much before then. I sold pussy. I was good as fuck at it. So me and my transition, me doing ceremony and me being in the space and me pimping my own energy to be a beacon of light, it ain't for the money. Because I am very much in full paleo, altar, all elements, earth, wind, fire, Mama Pacha's rituals, the blessings of the hape, in which the fruits in which after the ceremony, the days leading up until ceremony, everything intentional. If it ain't with intentions, I shall not be a part of. So the people in which that sit with me, they have the knowing and the prep to know how to come into the space. You gonna shower first. You gonna clear your mind first with this hape. We gonna ground. We gonna do some breathing. We gonna enjoy ourselves. But this shit ain't fun. It's fun after. You feel me? It's fun after them 15 hours or them 12 hours that I invested. Those individuals invested in themselves, and I invested in myself by being an advocate for those individuals. I am responsible for them. That's how I see it. I am a child in the eyes of the gods up above. I don't believe there's one God. I think this world got too much shit going on for one man or one God or one celestial being to create it all. I believe in multiple gods. I believe in the wind as a god, the rain and the water as a god, the fire in which as a god, the rock or the stone element as a god, but I come from an indigenous background. I believe that there was makers and there was big creators out here that had a fun time with creating this whole experience that we're operating in. So the least that we can do when we are operating in watching or governing over people, it's our best desire to be at our highest realm of self. I feel like an elder when I am watching over the bodies of these cosmic celestial beings. It don't matter if I'm younger than them, the same age, or older. I'm responsible for them. And a protocol of mine, which I highly suggest you guys operate in and seeing the power of, there ain't no touching when you sit in my chambers. Ain't no fraternizing. I don't care if y'all married, wife, blah, 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 kiss, cool, no problem. But all that touching and hugging and wanting to lay up and no, I don't condone. And I don't condone it because that be an intention for the person to try to distract. They love to, people love to, the women love to, the men love to distract another individual that's going through a very cosmic experience or very tumultuous experience and want to come and soothe and aid and protect and confide. No. Get your, no, because what she going through or what he going through and that rolling and that expression and those gases and burps and growls and cries and tears is needed to release. It's needed to release. And I ain't here to stop the release. I'm here to welcome the release. I'm called in to call my ancestors in to give some protection to that individual that might need some energy. I know what that kapal gonna do. I know what these different fragrances that I blend up and I don't intertwine with the person's body. Unless they say, knowledge, please, I need to get to the bathroom, but my leg's locked up. No problem, sister. No problem, God. Then I create contact. I don't touch my people. I don't believe in touching because we sensitive when we in them realms. You know what I'm saying? So who am I to shake you and you in another dimension? That is not okay. That is not how you advocate for the people. It smells and there's things that we can burn. There's certain saps and resins that blend it a certain way, and chants and certain sounds and certain drums and certain things that will bring the recollection back or harmonious the body if it's going through a spiritual attack. There are spiritual attacks, guys. Don't do this recreational. I don't advise because you're not going in with intentions. Shrooms, Iboga, DMT, Bufo. You don't go into that with no intentions. Just let's see how it's gonna be. I mean, that's okay, but it's even better when you put some intentions on there. Put some sauce of manifestation on there. Just sprinkle some. It could be one thing. It could be 20 things. Just don't lose sight of it, and then don't overthink it and just allow it to be. But you set an intention. You planted the seed of what you are looking to experience. Now, what the plant medicine of psychedelic mushrooms will show you, it could be the opposite of what you plant for. It could be everything that you thought you was experiencing or wanted to experience because you heard somebody else's trip and it was so amazing and they seen Bug Bunny and they seen this and Daffy Duck and all that old cute shit. I ain't never seen that, y'all. I ain't never seen that. And I'm on 32 grams. That's my highest dosage. 28 grams raw, 4-gram chocolate bar. Nah. And I've had experiences that a 14-gram trip was more intense than the 32. So weight don't matter. The strand, it has some things to do with it, but your breath got everything to do with it. We can just activate off the breathing. Constantly, over, pushing, ballooning the stomach in and out, fire breaths, over and over for 20 minutes, 30 minutes until the nostrils get cold. And then, and hold it. and keep holding it until oneself releases, and you feel that in those endorphins and that dopamine, and releasing out of the pineal and releasing down the spine, and then going into a very tingly like expression. I mean, we feel that on shrooms, but we can feel that just within the breath. For all the ones that are scared and not knowing of oneself, if you scared of shrooms, you scared of yourself. So if you scared, then tap in with the breath first. The breath will do some things that shrooms you might not never get to. But it ain't how you get to it. It's just getting to it, and then you'll figure out where you're going. You know, but back to the women and the men. For my brethren out here that are operating under plant medicine or wanting to have people in their chambers or in their ceremonial space, be integral. Operate with integrity. Operate with knowing that you are responsible for these individuals. So just because you ready to go and things ain't going the way you want them to, don't just send them out the door. Make sure that they hydrated first. Make sure that they got their full recollection and cognitive awareness. Make sure you offer them a offering, and it's called fruit. And it's try to get the realest and the best quality of fruit if possible, and the things that are the most hydrating, like melons, watermelon, papayas and cantaloupes. Grapes and mangoes, and berries that are deep, rich and rooted, like blackberries, blueberries, high in anthocyanins and vitamin A's and C's and things of that nature. And if you have the time to eat that fruit, under the sun, because now daybreak, morning rise is taking space. Typically, ceremonies are done at night. From a lot of reasons. The energy is quieter. People are sleeping. Mushrooms only pop out at nighttime through the cosmic realms of the moon. So intentionally, men as jobs is as a guardians, you're guardians of the spirits that you choose to protect, whether it's for a profit of charging or a offering or a donation, which is fine. Whether it's just a body of work of your spirit calls upon. Guard these women and these men, and soon, once the opportunity for us as a culture shifts, we'll start doing ceremonies with the children, because that's who needs it the most. The children, being able for the mom and the son and the daughter or the father to do a ceremony together. Yeah.
We need that.
Yeah. Without all the...
That would bridge a lot of families closer
Come on
together.
now. Come on now. We talking about on the little 2 grams. Just a little 2.
I would have loved to take some grams with my mom. I would have loved to took a gram of mushrooms with my mom and sisters some years ago. Growing up, I had a lot of different ups and downs with my mom. My mom and father, they split up when I was young. Father was very abusive, but he dealt with a lot of trauma and pain himself, alcoholic. So they split up. And my mom dealt with a lot of pain, and she projected that on me over the years. And it kind of separated me and my mom from having a strong connection. But then I got shot in 2016, and it's like that gave my mom an opportunity to reconnect with me. Because before then, me and her wasn't really tapping in. She wouldn't even call me to check in on me. I'll just be out here just roaming, doing my thing. But then after I got shot, she had to take some time off work to help me, like bathe and help me feed me and shit like that. So it's like we had an opportunity to reconnect. It's like I was reborn, or like she had an opportunity to re-raise her son or something, like in that short period of time.
That's exactly what happened. She had to mature up.
Mm.
Yeah. Can I touch on that? I got a 16-year-old mom. You feel me? So I have a 16-year-old mother. My mom had me at 16 years old. My father's a product of a 13-year-old mother, which is my nana. And she is a product of rape or led thereof by a 20-plus-year-old man, just so happened to be my grandfather. My nana was the youngest sibling out of 10, 11 of them. It was unfortunate, but I'm grateful that she didn't abort, and my father was born enough to be able to create the reflection within me. My parents they were the purest form of love. Like, they were inseparable in their love pursuit. Immature because they were young. My father, I think, was 21 21 when he had me. It's a 5-year age gap. I had a repeated offender a senior type of father. He graduated 2-3 years later. But they was in love, man. Like I was conceived likely on the hood of a car in the rain, outside. You know what I'm saying? It was a bliss between them, and that cosmic bliss is the reason why I am why I am. I know that. I know that's a very, very deep connection to why my love language is very intense and my love language is very pure, because I am a product of love. My father is a product of force. You know what I'm saying? So when you said what you said, I've experienced that with my mom, where my mom said some very disheartening things to hurt me. I mean, to an extent, it's like, what the, like, how could you even say some shit like that? You know, I experienced that with her last year. I experienced that, you know, at times as a child growing up, and it's like, mental psychosis comes in different shapes, fashions, and forms. And for us to be reflections of our father, I'm very much like my dad. I carry a lot of things from him, and you likely as well. So knowing that you're a better version of your father, you're the greatest version that he could never even be. To see a son that you birthed who could remind you of a reflection of a man you once loved, that now maybe have hatred towards, or you might dislike, or you might be very much ashamed of the decision. Unfortunately, in our culture, the women in our lives trying to raise a young man, which you guys, the beautiful mothers out here, you can't raise a man by yourself. You can't even raise a man. You nurture a man. You nurture your son. You nurture your young man. But you don't raise him as a man. You can never be a man. So you can't raise him as a man. And if he's lacking that, if you lacking that, or if I'm lacking that, we figure it out the best way we know how. And oftentimes the word will be chastised. To be chastised by a melanated mother and being a melanated man, where the world is already kicking and beating and punching and stabbing and ready to extract the cage like bondage. To have to go in and do a wind test when you come in the door, because you don't know if your mama had a good day, but it's so many far in between of stressful days that the reflection of her not being able to channel her energy, or y'all channeling y'all energy correctly, who's the best person in which you blame your shit on? Your kids. We didn't ask to be here. And we're grateful that we are here. But as a reflection of being a teenage, young, melanated man, Allah, why I'm being intentional by not using the word black. In the Black Law Dictionary, black means rotten. Black is a color. It's not a race of people. It's not a species or origin of people. Black is a color. So being a melanated being is where this pigment, of this copper brown like pigment that everybody wish they had, but demoralize or demeans or downplays it. Our mother is the first person that shows us what racism is, knowing that a melanated person cannot be racist amongst their own. But the embodiment of racism, the embodiment of that very sad slave-like mentality, we got to do better. Because your lack thereof of love, it took you to get shot. It took you to be damn near dead for your mom to have to shower you and bathe you as a grown man, for her to snap into some type of you will always be her child. But somewhere in those years, she forgot that part. Or she overlooked that part. Or she maybe didn't connect that part. And it was something about you not being able to do things for yourself the way you would have. It activated an opportunity for her to reconnect with her motherhood. And it's a very beautiful thing that your mother was able to do that. That shows a will. That shows an effort. That shows a love. That shows a connection that she didn't dissolve. Because there's some other mothers out here that would say, shit, the fuck with you. Shit, I mean, hell, whatever. Don't expect me to do nothing. Mama, I'm in the hospital right now. Shit, but you was doing what you were doing. It ain't gonna be about I'll be there. I'm on my way. I'm coming right now, baby. It don't even matter what happened. I'm on my way. So for your mother to stand by you in that tumultuous time of reflection, of maybe making better decisions. I don't know why in which that happened to you, but whether it was moral, whether it was unmoral, whether it was just or unjust, I'm glad that you're here. You're strong. You're thriving. And that's a beautiful opportunity that you got to reconnect with your mom, God, for sure.
Thank you for touching on that, brother, and sharing some of your testimony, your journey, and getting to learn more about your background too, with your upbringing and your parents and your mother. And a lot of our mothers deal with a lot of pain and trauma as well, and sometimes they reflect it onto us. The system is also abusing, psychologically attacking our mothers, and conditioning them in many different ways. So I learned that over the years, and it has helped me lighten my heart and be able to forgive and not hold certain things against my mother from the past and shit like that. But yes, that experience getting shot really gave my mom another opportunity to like re-nurture her child. Cause bro, that shit was very uncomfortable. Like my mom had to help me get dressed and shit. She was feeding me every day, helping me clean my wounds every day. Like I was like, damn. Like, but me and my mom haven't got to connect on that type of level ever, But other than when I was a baby, she was nurturing me and shit. But
You don't even remember that.
I don't remember that.
Right.
So it felt very awkward and shit, but I allowed.
You butt booty naked, balls out. You was tucking and ducking, or you was like, fuck it.
I was tucking.
Yeah, I would be tucking too, probably.
Yeah, but mom, she helped me in that period. You know what I'm saying? And she came through. I expected a lot more women to come through and support me, but my mom came through the most in that period. You know what I'm saying? So I give thanks to her.
Thanks
But
to you, mama.
you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But that had led me to advocate and push this peace after getting shot, bro. Cause out here, and brothers ain't pushing peace. They out here advocating for who can catch the most bodies. Like that's like a competition in the hood. Like you getting points from killing somebody from another section, from another area.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's very low vibrational. It's very ignorant, but that's like the state a lot of our brothers are in. They're not seeing past their environment and not realizing that we just perpetuating hurt and pain onto each other. You know what I'm saying? And it's been conditioned. It's been set up like this. So I'm also grateful that we as melanated men can connect, because it's been agendas to separate us, have us divided, want to compete, all that shit. Like be jealous of each other, but like we both medicine men in our own way, in our own right, and we can still connect instead of being envious or jealous or not fucking with each other. Cause it's it's like that out here in the Bay. I'm sure it's like that in Atlanta too, where it's like people will be on a similar path as you, but it's like disconnect. You know what I'm saying? Cause the energy ain't aligning, or it's some type of weird little shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I try to connect with many different people who do similar stuff that I do, but it be little blockages. And I have the purity in my heart to connect, but it's something on their end that's not connected. But I'm not forcing shit though. You know what I'm saying? And just staying on the path, bro, and aligning with those who align with you.
Nah. I wanna. Hey, I'm forcing it. Yeah, I'm forcing it. You be the non-enforcer. I'm the enforcer, and it's because what you said. You feel me? I understand that. I understand what this means. I understand what it is, how it is. So this I've done. When me and Magic and you was at the event and y'all made me, that was new. Cause that can keep going.
Oh God.
That actually can keep going. It could be, and we just all interweaved. We got two hands. So in my reflection, Atlanta different, man. Atlanta is a very interesting city. Atlanta, I'm original. You feel me? I'm from Riverdale, Georgia. One county down, Clayton County, Clayco, Brick Squad. I grew up in the same neighborhood as Waka Flocka. You feel me? I played with his brother Ko. Rest in peace. He transitioned. Yeah, man. I know Debs, his mother. My mom was the manager there in a property that we all lived on. Bro, I come from Kickdo City. Gang banging, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I never kicked the door in though. Me personally, I never kicked nobody's door in. Feel me? I had my door kicked in.
Kickdo City.
Yeah, I never kicked no door in, but I had my door kicked in twice, and it had to be by my friends. I always had the newest shit. I always had the nicest clothes. You know what I mean? My dad came from his background in the street, so we had the things in which on the material element Gangbang was big. It was a gang called 2 Dub back in the day. They was 20 deep. But Atlanta isn't a technically what I would consider a gang banging city like California. California, Chicago, I think those two are the meccas and breeding grounds of real gangbang politics. They forgot their origins, they forgot their reasons in which they forgot the mission. The mission became kill, kill, kill. That was not the mission, guys. Off all my MS-13s, Bloods, Crips, and every subcategory in between, this shit was about policing your people. It was about protecting your people. It was about making sure that the people in your neighborhood are accounted for, taken care of, to where we don't have to rely on white men or their systems and their policing, blah, blah, blah. So we governed ourselves and operated in cliques and neighborhoods to be able to keep things in order. If another Chinaman wanted to come in our neighborhood, then the head member of whatever member organization that was, your ass gonna have to pay a tax. Chinaman gonna come in our neighborhoods, but how many pressing Chinaman for that 20% every month, 10% every month? You wanna do business in our city, in our hood, you gonna pay, and let everybody else know. Just like if we was to move and do business in the Italians' neighborhood, they gonna come press up on us. Hey, look, man, you don't know the Coliinis, you don't know the da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, man, you gotta pay that 10%. And buck if you want to. So we forgot how to run and operate businesses. And but in Atlanta, man, it's a free game. We all about opportunity. We the Mecca. We the Mecca of the South. I feel like we the Mecca of the United States. Within that Mecca of the real bred born Atlanteans, bro, we all about opportunity, knowing that everybody always been coming to Atlanta since, we talking 1700s, 1800s. It's been rich melanated people during slavery, popping their motion on Auburn Avenue, Edgewood, having businesses, having millions, riding in whips, or jumping off that nag, jumping off that horse. You feel me? In $200-$300 suits. You know what I'm saying? In $100 Toms or topper hat, or fly bell bottoms. We been fly. We been had motion in Atlanta. Now you take your ass outside of Atlanta. You go down to Macon, or you go to, Marietta and Kennesaw and other places. The energy different. It's white. It's prejudice. It's a lot of shit, but it's working. It's working itself out. Man, killing is everywhere. Some cities are worse than others. For me, I can say for the amount of people that live in my city, I'm grateful to say everything we all know don't hit the news, but I'm grateful to say I don't see people hanging from no bridges and trying to kill them off themselves, jumping out of buildings. I don't see, yeah, you're going to get your occasion of your violence and things of that nature, but for as many people and as harmonious as it is for all the millions of people operating just within 285, I'm grateful that we able to be. And I'm grateful that we able to have environments where we don't have to resort to no violence. It happens, but I'm not advocating it, so I don't even want to glorify it. But what I can say is we need to do better. Our city has lost its identity because so many people have come from all over the place and shifted it. It's been happening for a long time, bro. My family from up north. My mom's side from New Jersey, my dad from Ohio. So they came down in the 90s. You feel me? They came down in the late 80s to create a better opportunity for themselves where Atlanta was a cheaper place to live. It had opportunities for businesses, and it's a melanated city. Boom, boom, bingo. My mom came in 2 years, now boom, I'm born. So the reflection is our city need to regain its integrity. Our city need to do better at the cucanderos and cucanderas that are operating plant medicine. It's time for us to join forces and create more integrity, create more spaces in Atlanta for the people that are holding plant medicine. We need to operate together. I would love for us to have a powwow, an indigenous ceremony of the ones in which who are facilitating plant medicine, for us to tap in and do some ceremonies together, and then have a powwow, which is a conversation beyond dance, beyond the plants, and talk about what we could do better on. You know, talk about how we could be a better beacon of light and facilitating, share our experiences of things that went maybe wrong in ceremony and what we did to correct them and make them right. Things happen. People, unfortunately, at times, not often, I don't hear about it often, but sometimes people do journey off so far, or their spirit was so ready to transition that they do not return back to their physical being. That's a problem. If you've had too many casualties not returning, your ass ain't paying attention. I gotta catch their breath rhythm changing to know what I need to do and how I need to keep a eye on this individual. This intake, everybody. Thank me later. Intake is questionnaires. 10 questions, 20 questions, 50 questions. It don't matter. Create a body of questions that can be asked to see where one's mental health is, to see where they lie, to see where they are in their domicile of their knowing of their being. How do they feel about it? Do they feel like they want to create an opportunity of everlasting existence of mortality? And based off that everlasting existence of mortality, that's going to take a different body of work to be able to remain. You know, what I choose to do here on this planet, I desire for my name to remain. We got some of the best killers in the world. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, Hitler, and so many others. They all had a very radical way of thinking. They all had a very selfish and loving way of killing, because they thought about their people. And they wanted their people to reign. And they wanted their people to be the only people walking this earth. That's love, bro, to a warrior. The warrior ain't just the dark. The warrior is a lover first, man. They don't give us warriors credit that we lovers, man. You got to be a lover to kill for who you love. To kill for who you love and not sit there and freeze up and pause up. I'm active. I'll be active for mine. Out of love. But I might have to lay it down and be able to drag it and be honorable enough to bury. And pray over. And have a ceremony in which. Because I made it. I'm alive. I feel like we done lost our way, man. We done forgot what's going on in my city. And it's time for us to reawaken the masses. You know, I'm in probably the most homosexual body of space on the land in the country. I mean, the LGBTQ97 shit, I ain't gonna get too deep in it, but they can't cancel us.
LGBT is rising.
Yeah, they can't cancel us. We self-made in a reflection of God. So I don't condone that way of living. Not no melanated man, not no melanated woman. What the fuck these other motherfuckers do on the planet? That's their prerogative. That's their energy. That's their culture. That is not our culture. They ain't nowhere in no scrolls and nowhere in none of these pyramids on none of these walls where they reflected, refined, wrote down, wrote celestial being. We don't know learned about tantric sex and the breathing and oneself and her straddling her waist and her grabbing her uni and squeezing us and us breathing into her mouth and she breathing into my mouth and we cosmically exchanging and we might be on plant medicine, we might not be on. There is books, there is energy, there is data of thousands of years that showed us how to procreate. There's thousands of years worth of energy in plants and medicines out there that women took so they didn't get pregnant. Neem oil. Smell like peanuts. You take some neem oil, a nice couple dabs, and rub that inside of a woman's uni, her pussy, her vagina, whatever term y'all use. Get y'all a nice little healthy bit of neem oil. Activate that up in the womb. Put that on the man's shaft. That's a contraceptive. That is your natural condom, guys. But how many of y'all want to smell peanuts? I'm okay with that. If you know that right now isn't the time financially, spiritually, mentally to bring a child in, I don't believe in doing the condoms because that's chemicals and things that the white man done created for us to put over us. That is not, it does nothing. Her juices drip down on our balls. So the skin's the largest organ on the body. I mean, come on now. It's absorbing in the skin. What is it doing? It's a preventative maintenance from babies. How about let's just stop having sex recreational. And if we choose to have sex with this woman, we are willing as men to now say, if I got her pregnant, if that so happens, I'm okay with the person I picked to have a child with. If y'all start thinking like that, probably stop having sex with so many women. Be more intentional. But for us as melanated beings, and I know this ain't the topic because it's about peace, I think it's peace when we know what our molecular structure is. And we know that sperm is DNA and sperm is information. So if there's sperm and information that's produced by me through my lineage, through my culture, through my knowings, through thousands of years of my existence on this planet, I've been doing this cosmic dance. That energy within my scrotum, within my balls, that's an energy. You would know. You got a daughter. That's an energy that you created, a life force. She is a reflection of you and her mother. So you and her mother have been married in the celestial court already, and y'all brought forth a life. That life was only created through your sperm. That womb just cultured it, narrated, nurtured it. But I do believe that the existence of us starts with us, and it's right here in this synergy between our legs. That ain't supposed to be in another man's rectum. That DNA, think about a man's DNA in another man's DNA. What that's going to do to the man who carrying it around? That got to fuck up his molecular structure. That's bestiality. That's a bestiality trait. That wasn't our premonition of way of operating. You know what I'm saying? So for all the melanated men out here who struggling with y'all sexuality and not knowing why, maybe some things happened to you when you was young and confused some spaces, that's okay because things happen. I'm grateful that I never been molested. I'm grateful I never was raped. I'm grateful for that. My parents was aware of that, of not just letting me go and be at anybody's house and spend the night. If it was a spend the night, it was going to be at my house likely. So my parents protected me as best way they could. I was exposed to a lot more anyway. But I was protected in those realms. That's why I empathize for the men that have experienced some things that confuse you. It's okay to be confused, but to stay confused. A lot of times, often, because of the plant medicine space, it isn't my way of life. I don't condone it, but that doesn't mean I'm nasty towards. That doesn't mean that I think I'm better than. That doesn't make me look down on those in which, if they are open and operating with a sense of truth within their hearts, I will not keep the medicine away from anybody. I'm weary of that energy that I'm around. I don't want to really sit amongst that energy because I have before, and I don't like the energy that comes up because it's not familiar to me. But the most of the men that I've seen and been amongst and watched, melanated men that are operating in that space, either they're in the closet, they download, they're lying, they sneaking. Don't have sex with women anymore if you know that that's not really where you at in your home, because you interfering with energy that I've been tampering with. You interfering with the energy of her not knowing why she acting the way she acting, but she was operating the man before her, or before her was down low, gay, having sex with men, and using her as a token of validation that he can't reflect it himself. Man, cut that shit out, please, because it's interfering these women's frequency in a way that they don't know how to process, other than them finding out or just knowing something ain't right. So women, create a space of asking questions, because a man who is struggling with his identity may not likely tell you the truth. Pay attention. Pay attention. For the men that are openly bisexual, at least you know your connotation and what you like. That, and then be honest with that. Give a woman the opportunity to make the right decision. If she's into that, it's some women that's into that. It's some women that's cool with that. I've asked the right questions and found women who was up into that. And then to me, that was just like, okay, well, it was nice. It was nice, talking to you, but, here, boom, 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 I'm going to pay for dinner. I'm out. Because it's a thinking that's off. If it's a melanated woman who wants to share another man in that way, and they do the act of that oral sex reality together, that in my mind, she mentally is off. To want a man, and I've had women tell me that they are think that that's a very masculine way the man is open when he's free, and nah, it's confusion, and this confusion should be talked about, and maybe we could edit this and and segue it in later, or maybe you take it out. I don't want that to affect whatever you might be pushing, but it's just spirit speaking. Bro, we got to do better, because 2 men can't procreate, 2 women can't procreate. And right now we being exterminated by the masses, by the millions, by the hundreds of thousands. Our women being raped, our women's uteruses are being taken out, our fibroids are taken over. There's so many things that are affecting peace. So my balances are, as a radical truth teller, a truth seeker, it ain't to sit here and be fruits, daisies, and roses. It's to be able to reflect that we need to be harmonized so we can go back to peace. So we can be peace. In order to be peace, you got to be raw. You got to be true. So you might have to start eating raw. Might have to start being true. Proper planning prevents poor performance. I live by 2 sets of 4 P's, God. Proper planning prevents poor performance. That concept has allowed me to reflect something my dad told me when I was young. He was like, don't allow 30 seconds of your life to end you up doing 30 years in prison. I was very reactive, very responsive. You say some shit out of whack, or you give me some energy like you want to challenge, and I'm ready. Gun hold. I'm ready to throw down. Yeah, it was very egotistic of me, but that's the neighborhood and the culture I'm from. I come from fighting. I come from scrapping. I come from shit. We gonna bleed it out until we figure it out. But I didn't believe in taking it no further than that. And we just got to get back to a righteous way of being. A righteous way of being is love, man. A righteous way of being is peace. But a righteous way of being is also having the faculties to be able to protect what you love and govern it, control it. Because we can only control ourselves.
Hey, man. My brother been going in. It's been an honor to have him on the platform. We had a few times where we stopped the interview to tap in with family and stuff of that nature. But we really been building, man. And this is the network of peace, love, being warriors, spiritual warriors on the path. My brother touched on many different topics in this build, and I have faith that y'all really took it serious, really heard what my brother was channeling from his spirit, from his soul. He was pouring into y'all with some love, some great perspective and awareness, you know what I'm saying, for us here on our path. And my brother really got a love for our people, man, so that's why I really fuck with my bro. I really got love for my brother, and we're going to keep building, man. Let the people know how they can stay connected to you, keep up with you, and if they want to reach out with you and tap in with you.
Sure. Man, peace to the people, all in which you tapping in. My name, celestially, is Knowledge Mod Netzeru. When I bring my first child into this space, it's gonna turn into Supreme.
Supreme?
Yeah, but
transition your name to Supreme?
Yeah,
okay.
But I'm on some Mansa Musa vibes. I'm on some Marcus Garvey vibes. Those are the 2 men that I idolize and worship their missions. My brand is called Elevation Seekers. It's a brand that is occupying the mind and teaching oneself how to journey and utilize their mind under sacraments, under sacred plants, sacred medicines. The medicines I work with currently are sacred mushrooms. I cultivate sacred mushrooms. I have my mycology degree from YouTube University and trial and error of experience. I definitely work with Hape, which is a beautiful segue into any sacrament. It's used to purify and ground oneself before and after any ceremony. It's a sacred tobacco snuff that's used and administered up the nose. So we shall and will be promoting and pushing Hape more, because it's very much needed in the community. I facilitate with LSD, DMT, Sananga, and I am about to start tapping in and facilitating with Combo and Bufo, and getting into these snake venoms, which I partake in. All things in which whatever I do, I'm going to partake in. My message to y'all to leave it and end it out is we need more advocates just like Brother Peace. We need more advocates of a very soft-natured, melanated man who is not a pushover, who is not weak, who is not lacking confidence at all, but has a very balanced, harmonious way. You have a very peaceful way about you. your home feels very peaceful because you're reflecting that and you embody it. You embody peace in such a way because you're operating in your knowing of yourself. That's why us, as in our knowings of ourselves, we have no desire to be in a competition between no man in existence, but let alone no melanated man. You know, it's always a love bliss connection. It's a created cosmic connection. So I understand where the energy of where your city is in inner turmoil, where another melanated man, you tell him, hey, peace, God, and he don't even know how to respond to you. So let's just heighten the frequency. And I challenge all the melanated individuals, men and women, to reflect each other as God. Peace, God, peace, goddess. Instead of nigga and bitch and all the things in which that we use in degradation. Peace is a state of mind, but being peaceful doesn't mean that things don't have to get messy first. Being peaceful, for me, this is my reflection to those in which you're gonna have to unroot some shit. If it's rotted out, you're gonna have to get that out that pot and make room, and maybe you're gonna have to enhance your soil, enrich your soil. So what you plant next will flourish. Repot yourself. If you already been in a damn pot and you done outgrew the pot, it might be time to get the fuck out that pot, you dig? It might be time to go in, repot yourself, or allow somebody who got skill sets in botany, skill sets in the love, skill sets in the avenue of peace that is going to be gentle enough to repot you for you, so then you can water you and be your best self. We got to treat ourselves like a plant. We are a plant cosmically. We got stardust, angel dust, gold, copper, selenium, magnesium, zinc. We got all these minerals in us. We just one big chemistry experiment on a daily occurrence. Anytime our mood gets off, we are affecting our cosmic experience. We are affecting our energy within oneself. The best we could do is tap in with earth, tap in with nature, tap in with my brother Peace, so y'all can go on the hikes from the hood to the woods. He about to go on a whole tour throughout the United States. We tapping in Atlanta, but it's already gonna be history. But Elevation Seekers is the brand. That's the name. That's what y'all shall be seeing, and I'm gonna be shouting from the pyramids all around this U.S. nation, in Bali, Indonesia, Africa, and beyond. Elevation. It's a very interesting, powerful word, to elevate. And then to seek and to become a seeker is being on the constant quest. I'm on a constant quest to expand. I'm on a conscious expansion of constantly refining myself, refining my process, refining. I shall be better than I was yesterday by refining myself and being honest with oneself. And we start there. When we be honest with ourselves, we start loving on ourselves. These plant medicines are mirrors because they show you how to be honest with yourself. You can't fake the funk to you. Them shrooms gonna show you that you full of shit. They gonna show you that you ain't been eating right, you ain't been thinking right, you ain't been, and then make your notes, journal, do better. Next trip, it gets easier, it gets better, it gets lighter. For all the ones that's young still, tap in early now with cognitive intentions. Your trips are beautiful because you don't got so much life on you. Life ain't beat your ass yet. And we choose how soft and how dangerous or rigorous life can be. We choose our experience. So be mindful with your words. Be mindful with who you're around. Know that your reflection of the people that you're around are a reflection of you. Love with the open cup. Love with the full cup. But know when people are pouring out too much of you. Preserve you first. Love you first. Honor you first. Because without you, there ain't no other. There's no nothing. There's no existence of nothing without the you. And we all have an opportunity to ring our bell and operate in our best self and make history. I'm talking about a good history, a healthy history, a history of health and wellness, a health of living real foods that we start back to growing completely. So much abundance that we giving it out to the community for free. You can't eat all the oranges on the damn tree, nor mangoes, pears, and cassavas and grapes. So share it amongst the people. The most righteous thing we can do, the most loving thing we could do, the most healing thing that we can do as humans is to feed people a ital meal, a meal of love, a meal that ain't salted out and filled with plants and then add it on with animals and death and all. No, life. Everything in that pot, life. Everything made with love. Everything made with care. That's the most righteous thing any human being can do, is to feed people who cannot afford to feed themselves. So for all y'all with food stamps, for all y'all that's blowing money in the strip club, hey man, take $300, $400, $500, $600 and go on and invest that in some real Ito food, or get a chef like my brother out here, myself, or anybody that cooks Ito food. That means Ito meaning ideal living. It's from the source. It also means no oils or no salts, technically. But let's say we're going to season our food so everybody love it and keep coming back. Reflect that and be a beacon of light, and go out and shed some love to your fellow homeless men and women and children, because you never know, that one meal might be that meal that they decide to continue on in their journey. They was about to give up. They said, fuck it, I'm done. You brought them a sense of reflection that they still are seen. They still are felt and heard. Ask them what they feeling today. Ask them how they living. Ask them what you could do in this moment to assist them. Don't be too cool to give them a hug. Don't be too cool. You could take a shower. They smell. They go through things. Cool. It's a lot of mental health out here that we all experiencing. So the ones in which who are healthier in the mental, be healthy enough to reflect that everybody ain't as healthy as us. And it's for us to remember that we should be a beacon of love and be able to reflect that light. And within that, that's a reflection of peace, God.
That's peace, that's unity, that's I and I, one love.